cool spot, man.
They're rolling anytime you two are there.
Listen. I've been thinking about my baby. I've been thinking about the way that she.
So my name's Adam Martinez. Born and raised in Chicago, now live in Berwyn. I'm 22 years old. I songwrite, produce, compose, sing, play guitar, pretty much anything musical you could think of, I like to do. It's funny, man, because when I started out, I wasn't very good at singing. Like, funny enough, it took me a long time to like really get an established voice. What I started doing first was songwriting, actually. I got my heart broken like sophomore year of high school, and that really inspired me to write my first song. Not really knowing if I was good at it or not, I just know that I enjoyed doing it. And music really runs in my family. My father was a musician, my grandpa was a musician, so that's from my dad and mom's side, so it was inevitable that I was going to get it. My dad played bass, my grandpa played guitar, and my dad was actually pretty famous in Chicago. Yeah, he played in a band called Los Aristocratas in Chicago, and they're pretty big around the 70s. They played all kind of Spanish music, and that's like where my main inspiration came from, just seeing pictures of him performing. And so when I wrote my first song, I showed my older brother, who's also a producer and he's a rapper too. And he was like, dude, you got it. You know how to write, you know? And so ever since then, man, I've done production and singing and all that, but songwriting's always been like my baby. That's how I started. That's my favorite thing to do, man. So I got started with music, basically it was in my family. Since the day I was born, like there was always a guitar laying around or a piano or something. My dad would sing at parties, my grandfather would sing at parties, you know? And so watching my family perform music really inspired me. But I would say my biggest inspiration was my older brother, who was a rapper and producer at the time, and he still helps me produce my music to this day. Watching him tell me stories about what our father used to do and the shows that he used to do. I think my brother performed with Bone Thugs and Harmony at the House of Blues. Like, that was awesome to hear, you know, there's pictures. And so, you know, when you get an older brother or something, you get super inspired by whatever they do. And so I started to sing, and I wasn't very good at it, but he really inspired me to just keep going. Like, everyone's got to start somewhere, he always told me. And so I just kept doing it, and sure enough, I got good enough to the point where people started turning their heads, like, this kid's pretty good, and just kept it going from there, man. So besides like my family, Bruno Mars was like the one artist that I listened to where it made me really curious to know where his inspiration would come from, like why he would be singing these songs. The first song I heard from him was Nothing on You, B.O.B. And I started listening to like interviews, and I was like shocked to hear that he wrote and like produced and composed. I'm like, you could sing and do this stuff? Like, that's crazy. And so that inspired me to do it. Like, I want to do all that too. And so Bruno Mars, you could hear in my EP, like that really like doo-wop sound. I was really inspired by Bruno Mars to do that, you know? So I love that stuff, man. And I loved how he like sounded exactly the same in his records live. Like, he was a singer, you know? He wasn't just a pretty face, like he did it all. And so that was one of my main inspirations for sure growing up. So between work, music, and school, it's hard to balance the three just because they all have their own priority, right? Like, I can't pay the bills without work. I got to get my degree to get a future career, and then music's like my passion. And so I was lucky enough to have the courage to actually pursue music in school as well. So music's actually my major. So when I go to school, I'm doing music as well. And I'm also having a minor in political science. But sometimes it gets tough, man. Sometimes I'll get home and I'll get like inspired to write a song, but I got homework or I got work the next morning. So it honestly comes with like date priority. Like, let's say I'm aiming to release a song next month. I might miss a homework assignment to finish writing the song that night. You know, sometimes you gotta make the sacrifices. Or I'll get 4 hours of sleep, you know, and show up to work tired with bags under my eyes, but I'll feel good because I know I completed the song yesterday, you know? So it all cycles, you know? If I should fall deep in your arms, would you take my heart or tear it apart? Could you love me now but you let me down. Would you give me all that you are? Would you hold me down, or just give me up? If love can't be found, I can't stick around. But will you love me for now? Do we belong in each other's hearts? If I let down my walls, would you do me wrong? Could you love me now? Would you let me down? Would you give me all that you are? Would you hold me down, or would you just give me up? If love can't be found, I can't stick around. Would you hold me down, or just give me up? If love can't be found, I can't stick around. But will you love me for now? We just did my debut music video for Now, which was off the EP. And that was my first music video of an original song. Because I've done music videos before, but they were always of covers. Because that's how I really started out, was covering songs. We had like 5 songs ready by then, and so that was the job, like, all right, like which one's gonna be the music video? And usually you pick like the upbeat, the radio hit, you know, but I felt so passionate about the For Now song that I wrote, just because it had that real slow Motown vibe, and you could really write a story to that, you know? And so that's the one we ended up going with. And it actually is inspired by like my love life, you know? It's often we live our life so scared of like what the future holds. Like, if I date this girl, is she gonna break my heart? What's gonna happen 2 years when I have to move to a different city or something? And For Now is pretty much saying like, let's just love each other for now and live in the moment, and let's worry about that when the time comes. And so that was basically my main inspiration for that song. Being a Chicago artist is interesting, especially because I'm pop and R&B, and I would say Chicago's really hip-hop oriented, you know? And so I have a lot of friends who do hip-hop. I really don't know too many friends that do my type of music. So it's a challenge, but at the same time, it's also really cool because I'm the only one who's kind of doing it, and so I sort of carved my own lane in Chicago by doing this, as far as I know. But there is a challenge because sometimes there are shows that are really hip-hop oriented, and it's a show that I would like to perform in, but I don't really make hip-hop music. So there's pros and cons to it all. But I would say for the most part, it hasn't been challenging to the point where like it holds me back or anything, you know, because a lot of hip-hop artists like to feature me on songs or have me produce their songs, for example. So, you know, I love it regardless. I would say what separates me from other pop artists is I'm not just the pretty face, I'm not just the kid who has a good voice. I'm involved every step of the way with my music. I've never put out a song that didn't start in my bedroom, where I was inspired to write in my notebook and pull out my acoustic guitar, you know? And I know there's some pop artists out there that are like that, but I would say for the most part, your average pop artist, and that's no offense to them, like if you can't write and you need a team to do that, that's totally fine, you know? Like if you have a great voice, do that. But it's not often you find someone who does it all, you know, and does it for other artists. And so I would say that's what separates me. People are always surprised to hear like, oh, you produced that? Or you composed that? You wrote that? And I love that, you know? It's like a surprise. I know that you're probably wishing it was you that was next to me,
But don't cry telling me I'm making a mistake, 'cause I disagree. I know you love me, but that was so long ago, oh Lord. And I don't care about your jealousy. Don't tell me that you changed for real this time, 'cause I don't wanna hear your alibi. So baby, don't you try and change my mind, 'cause babe, I've heard it all a million times. Don't try telling me lies, I don't really care, 'cause I know the truth. My love was unconditional, but not good enough for you. I know you love me, but that was so long ago, oh Lord. And I don't care about your jealousy. Don't tell me that you changed for real this time, 'cause I don't wanna hear your alibi. So baby, don't you even try and change my mind, 'cause babe, I've heard it all about a million times. I can't lie. Sometimes I wonder who is holding you at night. And babe, I know that it's wrong, 'cause we've been here a million times. Don't tell me that you changed for real this time, 'cause I don't wanna hear your alibi. So baby, don't you try and change my mind. Babe, I've heard it all a million times. Don't tell me that you changed for real this time, 'cause babe, I've heard it all a million times. Baby, don't you try and change my mind, 'cause babe, I've heard it all about a million times. 'Cause babe, I've heard it all about a million times.
People often ask me, like, you do so many things, but what is it that you want to do, or what's going to be your main gig when you make it or whatever? And I want to do all of it, honestly. You know, I look at someone like Ed Sheeran, he wrote Love Yourself by Justin Bieber. You can hear his voice in the background, like he produced that. And Ed Sheeran also has #1 hits on the radio, and he composes for people and plays guitar for people. And so I sort of want to do it all. I want to be like an Ed Sheeran, or like I tell my brother, I want to be the Michael Jackson and the Quincy Jones. I want to be all of it. I want to do everything and help people out and do myself. So that's where I see myself. I love when artists come out and they need help with like a guitar solo or something. So I want to make music for myself and make music for others. That's where I see myself. I would say my main goal is just to make a living off of music. I don't know where that's going to take me, whether it's I'm going to win a Grammy or perform at some crazy show. Obviously those are things that I would love to do, but I don't like to hold too many expectations, because you never know what life is going to throw at you. So I just want to be so good at music that I could live off of it, and that's what I could do for the rest of my life, because that's what makes me happy, you know?
What do you want others to see in the music?
What I want others to see? I want others to see passion in my music. I take music really seriously, and growing up it was kind of hard for me to write like upbeat songs, just because I went through a lot of stuff through my childhood and it was always very sad. But even with my upbeat songs, you could hear the passion in the writing, and even if it's like a party song, there's still a story to be told. And I hope that when people listen, they're not just listening to the melody or the drums or the bass line. They're hearing what I'm saying and are really connecting to the story and can relate to it. And that's what I love about music, is when you hear something, someone might have written it about something completely different, but you take it in your own way, and it's all about perspective and how you can relate to the song.